All right, here we go. All right, we are live. We are live. Okay. Welcome everybody. I want to welcome you to tonight's live. Sorry it took so long. The last live I did was kind of crazy. Some people felt that I didn't go in on our guest hard enough. I don't know. Um, I'm trying to do it diplomatically, trying to be peaceful, but that's just me. Right or wrong, I tried to do the right thing, but I appreciate you guys waiting on us for this live. Tonight, I got the beautiful, awesome Loren is going to be on the show with me tonight. And we've done some lives together, quite a few. And, her commentary is awesome. I always love doing lives with her. Very smart, got her act together. She comes up with all kinds of awesome stuff. But yeah, that's why it took so long trying to reach out to some of my subscribers, or not so much the subscribers anymore. Okay, that's fine. Big love to you. The ladies I talked to, sorry if I offended you. Sorry if you felt I didn't do the right thing. And maybe I didn't. I mean, I'm flawed. I'm a human being. But still have love for you. And sorry it went to that. But our guest that came on, oh my God, it was, Space Ghost Turk came on. And, I wanted to hear his reaction. And I tried to be peaceful. And, surprisingly, I expected him to come in and cuss me out and tell me what a little bee I was and whatever, but it didn't happen, amazingly. I thought we had a good discussion, and my thing is I want to reach a man's heart before I condemn him. That's man and woman, regardless of race, regardless, that was my intentions. But anyway, I apologize if I offended anybody. I apologize if that wasn't the intent. I felt I did the best. I did it the best way I thought possible. And in the future, I'll learn better if I made a mistake. It's all good. Tonight, we want to talk about interracial relationships. Who's ready for them and who's not. And this is a topic that I've talked about in the past. Me and Loren have talked about it. And a lot of times when you're interracially dating, especially when it's black and white people, there's some things you got to kind of let go, you might say. I'm not saying totally let go, but you got to treat that person that you're in a relationship as if they're in your same race. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Show them love. They might not know about your culture, and most of them won't. But as long as they come to you with love and respect, okay, they can, if you want to learn about your culture, they can. If they come with love and respect, you can build off that. Okay. I see videos on YouTube where women say, well, if I date a white man, he better do this. He better know about my culture. He better know about racism. He better know about this and that. And what I would say to that is he needs to acknowledge, yeah, racism exists. I get it. But he don't know what you went through. He don't know what your family went through. He might see it through a different lens. And it's not that he don't care. It's not that he's not sympathetic. It's just he comes from a different place. He don't see what you see. You don't see what he sees. And when you go into a different culture with two different people, you got to understand that. Basically us as humans, we're not that much different. We all want to be loved, respected. We all want to be lifted up. We all want people to think that, we're special. I mean, we all want that. And that's one thing you need to cling to. Does this person love you? Do they treat you right? Do they treat you with respect? And a lot of times we feel that we need to get tied in racially, politically, or all this other stuff when we really don't. We just need to learn that person and know if they truly love us and respect us. And if they do, it can work. And I would say too, when you go in an interracial relationship, don't try being the person you're not. Okay? If you're a white guy, don't try to act like you're a black guy or try to pander in some kind of stereotypical way. And if black women, don't try to be a Becky. I mean, don't come talking like a Valley Girl type of voice. Well, no, you might want to do that. That's kind of attractive in a way, but no, just joking. But just the bottom line is be yourself. Be happy with you, and present yourself to that person, because they're going to love you for you, not for who you're not. And if that person wants you to be something you're not, you probably don't need to be in that relationship. But that's all I'm going to say about that for now. But anyway, so many times, Loren, I see people in relationships. I've seen white guys or white women, they get with black people, and sometimes, not all, but sometimes they try to act in a stereotypical way, I guess, because they think that the other person will accept them more.
Well, if I could jump in. So, like I always say, black women and black men date out for two very different reasons, and a lot of times I see white women that we call them Beckishas.
Yeah,
okay, and it's like that mix, of the wannabe black girl, because they think that that's what black men will like, and a lot of times black men do like that. And if you ever notice the kind of white women that say they prefer black men, not the ones that just date black men, the ones that say they prefer black men are always the Beckishas. They're always very fake hood and fake, they have this this like stupid accent. Do you remember it wasn't that long ago, but it was like during quarantine, this girl attacked this guy in the Uber and she like ripped his mask off. And the guy posted it. Do you remember that video?
I don't.
Oh. Well, yeah. Anyway, she was a white girl, but her whole demeanor and everything about her was just so like terrible and just like very, very, just she's trying to put on this act because she dates black men, and that's what she thinks black men want.
No, I'm listening to you.
Okay, so a lot of times when black women want to date out and they want to date white men, we kind of have a different problem. And it's not that we try to be white, it's that we try to a lot of times we don't meet the white guy where he is. We try to pull him into our world, and we don't want to like step into his world. You know what I mean? Like we want him to understand everything that we're going through and everything that we've been through. We want him to know our culture. We want him to understand. We want to like quiz him on stuff, and we want to see how much he's aware of and how much he knows. And that can wear down. Like anybody would get worn down from that. And like that's definitely the bigger mistake I see black women making, because they don't understand that this guy that you're talking to, he's not all the racists in the world. He's not all of the bad things that ever happened. He's just one person. And it's just like this, the guy Space Ghost that came onto your stream. You two are talking, you two are having a conversation, and I think that some black women expect you to do more than what you can do as a white man. Like I think you did hold him accountable. You did call him out. You said what you had to say, but you did it in your lane, right? Nobody wants to be. Yeah. You did it the way you would do it.
Yeah, and
that was the right way.
Yeah, and here's the thing. the thing of it is I can't see. The thing of it is with him, he came on and he kind of tried to explain it. And see, I don't see things through a black woman's lens.
Right.
I did say what he did was horrible. What he did was wrong. I put that out in the beginning of the video. And when he came out and I explained it, I said, do you know why I'm going in on you? Because my wife's black. My daughters are half black. I have to protect them. And what you said was wrong. I told him that. And, you know, and he explained it. Yeah. And he says, you know, I know you're a man and you love your family and you're just doing what you got to do. Okay, when he says you're doing what you got to do, okay, what am I supposed to do? Call him a dumb son of a bitch, and you better. I don't know what. And here's the thing: if he would have came in cursing at me, there would have been an argument. But he didn't. He didn't do that. He tried to kind of explain it, and maybe it's not all. Maybe it's BS what he said. I don't know, and. I'm not a black woman, so I don't know how to look for the signs. All I know is he says, you're a good man and you're taking care of your family. Okay, well, there's no anger to go in on him, and just what he said about black women was unacceptable. And I think he's trying, from what I heard from him on the Real Truth and coming on my show, I think he's trying to explain himself, maybe try and make amends for it, because I think he realizes what he said was wrong.
Yeah, and the thing about it is that men like that they realize, I think they're starting to realize that you can't just say things like that. But the problem is that as black women, like imagine if somebody would have said something like that about a gay person. You know, like would he not have been canceled immediately by everybody?
Yeah,
like I heard someone is having, I don't know who it was. I don't know who it is. Was it Nick Cannon or somebody? Someone's having an issue with transgenders right now because they said something disrespectful. Like you can't say anything about transgenders. You can't say anything about gay people. You can't say anything about marginalized groups. And black women have not had that protection. You know, we've not been in that kind of group where you can't say things about us. And I see it where we're slowly moving into that kind of group, where these kind of men that are popular for saying horrible things, you have to go on these apology tours and explain yourself now, and you can't just say things like that. And like I said earlier, I didn't internalize anything he said. I take his threats seriously, and actually what he did say is a felony. Like what he said, and he quoted that's a felony. He could get arrested and go to jail right now, go to prison right now for that. So
no, absolutely he can. And maybe that's why he wasn't going in on me. Maybe he thinks I'm full of crap and he would have loved to tear into me, but he didn't do that. And my thing is I'm thinking on the Christian perspective, you got to forgive. And what he said about black women's horrible. I'm not trying not to defend black women. The thing of it is I think they've seen it that way. Like, okay, I'm not going in on him no more, so I'm condoning what he's saying. No, I know
you don't condone it. I absolutely know that. You look at who you're married to and your family.
And you won't see no white guy come on here. Well, you might, but I doubt it. I don't think you see a white guy come on and say Space Ghost Turk was wrong in what he did. I did say that, but because he come on trying to explain himself, I didn't go hard in him and attack him. So, I mean, to me, what would we accomplish from that? Okay, we don't like each other. Okay, but I think, well, and maybe he's just trying to do some kind of what you call it? What is that called? Kind of repairing what happened.
Yeah, like I said, that apology tour. He's been on several YouTube channels now. I've seen him like
I think he's trying to kind of retake what he said. I think he's trying to because what he said was harsh and it was wrong, and I was like, I was just like, but I just wanted to hear what he said, and I didn't go in hard enough, and it just broke my heart that these ladies just discarded me. Just, okay, we're not following you because you're not protecting black women. You're not going, you don't care about black women. Like, what? Do you understand? Because I said that to this guy, could he send some thugs to try to look me up? I mean, my face is out there. I'm actually taking a risk. But, I'm not going, if he comes on and trying to explain himself as a man, I got to give him that. I got to give him a chance to explain it. Maybe he's sorry. Maybe he said, you know what, I was wrong. Maybe that's what I was looking for.
I really want him to make another video and retract that and like take that back and take that down, because black women can't keep doing stuff like that. Yeah, like you're not going to be able to get away with doing things like that. And but I like to go back to this, like the kind of people that are ready to interracially date, or the black women that are ready know how to meet another man where they're at, and they don't expect you to, they expect you to protect them, but they don't expect you to do something that's outside of your lane and outside of something that's not really normal for you, like, there's another YouTube channel. His name is Taz Exclusives, right?
Yeah.
He was on there too. Taz was in his lane, and he went after him the way Taz always does, because that's Taz's lane. Okay. He didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't, it was a back and forth. It was like, insults all over the place, but like, that's how Taz does. That's how he moves. And he did it the way he would do it. You did it the way that you would do it, and that's what I want. That's what that's how a black woman is ready. Like, I feel like for me dating a white guy, I always say, it's only us that put each other through all these like ridiculous tests, and we have these like intense conversations. We put all this pressure on ourselves, when I know for a fact other races that interracially date don't do all that to each other.
They don't. And you know what's funny about that is my wife apologized to me later on when we were married. She says, you know what, I put you through the ringer and I shouldn't have, because I was more cautious about you, and you did it right, where my other boyfriends didn't, and I didn't put you through that. And I understand it. I mean, I never took offense for her vetting me or making sure I'm the right guy. But that's what we see in society, and she put me through the test. And I think what happened on the other show is, I think these black women expected me to do more than I did.
Yeah, to do what? To do it like Taz?
Huh?
I said, to do it like Taz? You're not.
I guess. Yeah, I think so. Like, I was going to have a shouting match with him and tell him he's garbage. But the thing of it is, and like I said, I don't see it through a black woman's lens. And, I already said he was wrong. And when he says, you're a man just taking care of your family. And what am I don't know. And people said, don't be manipulated by him and this and that. And it wasn't that. I was just trying to, I don't know, maybe see the error of his ways and kind of come around a little bit. And I think I don't know if it's a legal thing or maybe it's a conscious thing. Maybe he just feels bad what he said. Maybe he's
hopefully it's a little of both. Hopefully it's probably a little of both.
And he might be thinking, you know what? I shouldn't have said that about black women because I'm a black man. You know what? And I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because I don't know. Or maybe someone on his legal team said, you know what? You need to backtrack this stuff. You're going to get in serious trouble.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, you're right, Corey. He's in God's hands. But let's not talk too much about that. Yeah. I mean, that show's in the past. I need to get out of that. But like I said, what he did was wrong, and I called him on it. But I want him to come. I want him to come to doing what's right. And as a Christian, I have to forgive. I do. I can't just persecute someone forever. But anyway, let's go away from that. I'm going to get crazy with that stuff.
I wanted to tell you something. Like I wanted to say, like as far as you say that your wife over vetted you, did you over vet her, or did you have put her through the same vetting?
No, I did not. Now, I mean, the thing of it is when I met my wife, I had dated several black women, and I tell my story. I've only dated 2 white women in my life, and it was out of guilt and obligation. I was exclusively in the black women. I mean, I'm not lying. And those relationships did not work because my heart wasn't in it. They weren't bad women. It was my fault. I shouldn't have even stepped into that. But anyway, that's here and there. But you know, I seen with my wife. I was young and dumb. I didn't do nothing right. No, I didn't really vet her. I was just like, yeah, I like being with you. We're having fun. It's great. And I was attracted to her. But as I got to know her, I was like, you know what? She's awesome. I would, and how I knew it was right is when I would go on a date with her, I wanted to so bad. It was like I couldn't wait till the next date. I was working 3 jobs at the time, and I was like, I made time for her. I would come to her house late at night, driving across town, and I'd watch TV with her, and I'd fall asleep in her lap. But I felt at home. And her mom was like,
that is so cute.
Yeah, her mom loved me. She was like, and her brother loved me. I just fit right in. It felt like I was at home in their house. But it was an awesome thing, you know. And I would come home dead tired, and we'd watch a movie, and I'd fall asleep in her lap, and she's like, "Oh, great, we're supposed to get something to eat, but I'll let you sleep." It was like that, but I was so wore out, tired from working, and her family. What they seen in me is I was a hard worker. I didn't have the money. I wasn't that high value man that came with pockets full of money. No, I was a struggling young 20-year-old trying to figure it out, you know. And they seen something in me, and so did my wife. And you know, I went into the Army, and you know, I proposed to my wife like 3 months after I knew her. And I didn't get married to her till 5 months after, because I had to go in the Army, do basic training, go to school, and do my thing. And people, I mean, like I said, there were bets that wouldn't last. There were bets that it was going. I mean, I had my grandmother tell me it wouldn't last 6 months. You know, and I told her, and we had a talk, you know, before she passed. And she told me later on, she says, you know what, you and Sandy, you guys are a blessing. She said, you're the exception to the rule. And she said, you were right and I was wrong. And, you know, that was a neat thing she said to me. And I was like, because when I first married her, she said she's really dark. And I was like, well, should I have gotten a lighter complected one? Well, I'm just saying she's dark. And couldn't understand why I was upset about what she said. But anyway, but later on, she says, you know what? You got a good wife. You guys are the exception to the rule. You guys are a blessing. And that was nice, because before she passed, she told me that, and I was like, I felt good. And you know, we were. I wouldn't. And looking back, we're not the exception to the rule. We are the rule.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say that.
Women and white men, we are the rule. We're not the exception. Early on, we seemed like the exception, but now, when you look at the stats, we're actually the rule.
Yep.
And yeah, Corey, dark is good. Corey said dark is good.
And it's really funny, because I noticed a lot of lighter girls say they have a harder time dating white men, and they said they noticed that white men usually go for the really dark ones. And I noticed that. Sometimes, like, that's all I see. They want like the really, really dark ones, and I'm, you know, I think it's great.
It is. It's true. With me, maybe it's like the times and what psychologically. But when I dated black women, I never really knew how dark they were.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people this, and they look at me like I'm crazy. I didn't know they were dark or light. I didn't even think about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just know that was a black woman. I was attracted to her. I approached her, and either she accepted me or rejected me. But I didn't focus on that. I didn't even realize that there's light and dark. Does that make sense? I mean,
a lot of white men say that. That's why I know the colorism thing is something that happens pretty much not even just in the black community, because it's pretty big in Asians and Indians as well. But I know that from dating white men, colorism is it's not there. It's not a thing.
You know what? It is that way in India, because when I was in the army, I had a friend that was from India, and he was a soldier with me, and he says, in my country, there's black and white people, just like America. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're in India. But, when you look at it, there are Indians that are lighter complected and ones that are real dark that look black.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, skin tone wise, they don't have the necessary features as, an African black person, but they do have light and dark people. They really do. And he told me, he said, yeah, there's some discrimination there. Yeah. And I was like, wow, really? I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. And I talked to, I live in New Mexico, and a lot of people I grew up are Mexican. That's the biggest demographic in my state. I think it's like, it's even more than white people here. Mm. White people are a close second, but I've talked to people that, I got a friend that's actually, his parents are from Mexico, and he said that there's a discrimination amongst them. I mean,
really? I didn't know that was Mexicans.
Huh?
I didn't know that was Mexicans.
Mexicans?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know there was discrimination with skin color. You mean they have the colorism there too?
Yeah, he said in their country they do have discrimination where the actors and stuff that are lighter complected get better treatment. Now I don't know how true it is. I've never lived in that country. I mean, I've been over there because my state borders that country. But he told me, he said, yeah, there's a discrimination there too from lighter and darker people because the Mexican race is Spanish and a mixture of Native American. Yeah. Some are darker than others, yes. And you go down there, you'll see people with blonde hair, blue eyes. I mean, but he said, yeah, there's a discrimination there amongst them too. And that's kind of interesting.
I remember, do you remember there was this guy, his name is Andrew Schlossberg. It happened in New York. And he went off in a restaurant in New York because the women in the restaurant were speaking Spanish. And he
I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah. Well, he apparently is. It's the first time I've ever seen this. Before that thing happened with the restaurant. He actually attacked this other white guy because the white guy had like black hair and he had like black he had like a black mustache. Yeah. And maybe in the dark or maybe like in the shadow, he might look Muslim or he might look Middle Eastern or something. But when you look at him in the light, he's clearly a white man. But the guy went off on him because he thought he was a foreigner. And he was like, he thought that he was, he could see he was white, but he wasn't quite white enough. And I'm like, do white people have like I guess not really colorism, but is there like something similar?
I don't think so. That's kind of weird, but you know what? I was watching a documentary on the Old West, and I'm interested in that history because I'm in New Mexico, and I study Old West history, and I study like Billy the Kid and stuff. And I'm gonna go out to Lincoln, New Mexico. I want to do a video out there because there's like it's a little town in New Mexico called Lincoln, New Mexico. And Billy the Kid was around there at the time, and it was like a flourishing city. Now it's a little town that's like in a valley with, that has like, I don't know, maybe 1,200 people in it. It's very small, but it was like a booming town back in the 1800s, back in the Old West. And, I'm into history when it comes to my state and stuff. I really dig into it. And I'm going to make a video sometime. I'm going to go down there and do a video and tell a little bit about my state. I like to do that, but dang, what was I going to say? Sorry, Lorraine.
I was going to say something because I wanted to something that you said earlier about like your wife over vetting you, and that's also something that Black women definitely do. And
they do.
Yes, we definitely do that, and that comes from for one, the fact that we've seen Black men how they date when they're dating out, and I just kind of think they're very much an example of like what not to do, and we kind of look to them for like mistakes to avoid, because they're Black men and white women dating out, they're not that successful, and I used to wonder why. I'm like, y'all act like y'all like them so much. Why don't y'all work more often? You should work more often because, but you don't.
I'm going to tell you. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I'm going to tell you why that is. And I know the reason. And I don't mean to talk like the expert, but I'm going to tell you. Black women and white men, we're strategic. When we get together, it's for a long-term situation. And we've been vetted because people give us crap about it. So when we get together, we don't care what anybody thinks. We just do it. And, we're like the power couple. We really are. Now, I'm going to tell you why Black men and white women aren't as successful. I'm going to tell, and I'm not going in on anybody. They're not better. None of us are better people. It's how they go about it. When they get together, it's because they're attracted to each other. They jump in. There's no, how can I say this? There's no
vetting.
There's no vetting, but there's no, God, I'm looking for that word. There's no, nothing is going to come from it. Like I might say, God, that's not the word I want. There's no, gosh, I'm blank tonight.
Like
God,
there's no
rattled a little bit. No, there's no
long-term goals or strategy or anything.
No, there's no repercussions, I might say. They go in like there's no repercussions. Like they just attracted to each other, they jump in, and a lot of times they're out for the experience. And when they say that white men fetishize about Black women, I think it's more so the other way, with Black men fetishizing about white women. I believe that to be true. Now, am I right? Maybe, maybe not, but I believe it to be true. Now, not to say white guys don't do it, because they do it. But I think it's like there's no repercussions. Nobody's giving them crap about it. And some Black guys say, no, you're wrong, because it's harder for us to date white women than you Black women because society accepts it more. I don't know if that's true today. Yeah, back in the 1800s, most definitely. I mean, they were killed for doing it. I get it. Today's world, it's more acceptable on their end. I believe it to be true.
It's definitely way more acceptable. This isn't the 1800s anymore. It's way more acceptable now.
No doubt. And I just think that it works because we're more strategic. Now, I think Black men and white women are going more for the attraction, more for the beauty, more for what they're attracted to.
It's the novelty. It's the novelty
Yeah,
of
it's a
it.
novelty too. I think sometimes black men think of it as, I'm sticking it to the man, I'm taking his woman.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a little bit of that. Us as white guys, we don't care. I mean, we started back in 1984. Today, it's so normal, we don't care. I mean, it's like when I dated black women, I never looked at it as I'm taking a black man's woman. I
Yeah.
didn't do it. It's
And
not.
black women we do the same thing. I've never stopped to consider what a white woman thinks about it, or is she jealous? Does she
Yeah.
care? I do not consider that at all.
Yeah, and I think that's why why it works, because we're not looking at it in that way.
Mm-hmm.
You get white women, they'll and what I say to black men, if they want a real good Becky, a high value Becky, and I'm kind of going on the kitten's advice type thing on this. You want the high value Becky? I'm going to tell you, black men. Here's a freebie.
Oh boy.
You can get that trailer park Becky, because she knows she's going to have to work with you. She knows she's going to have to get a job also. But you go to that middle class Becky, that Becky Poppins, Princess Becky. You're going to have to work for it. You're going to have more income than she does.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the deal. Black men can have that in a heartbeat, because in today's world, a lot of white men will allow their daughters to date black men more so than you would ever think, as long as, number one, they come with love, respect, and they got to be successful economically. Bottom line, if you're successful economically and you show the father love in the daughter, you're in. You're probably more in than a white man doing
that.
it.
That average Joe stuff that Kevin Samuels tells men that you just being average. I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, if you want a woman that's kind of on that level, then sure. Sure. But I mean, a high quality woman wants a high quality man, and I mean that's just how that works. And it doesn't matter if she's white or if she's black. I know for a fact, if you go to a certain oh, excuse me. I know for a fact, if you go to a certain class of white woman, you can't come with, saying that you make $900 a month, Kevin Samuels. You can't come like that.
No.
So you can't do that. You can't come with I don't have a job right now. I'm in between apartments. I'm in between cars. I'm in between this and that. You can't come like that. If you want a certain caliber, if you want a certain level in a certain class, you have to come way more correct than that. And that's just how it is. And that's actually one of the biggest problems that black men have with black women, because they see us raising our standards as well, because black women did not used to require that. We were very sympathetic of the past. We were very sympathetic and understanding of, well, they might need a break and they may need a chance. And, this country is hard and this world is hard. So we were way more understanding. But it's like at this point, we're not doing that anymore. And a lot of them are throwing this giant hissy fit over it. That's where this whole average man, and you just get an average man or else you're going to die alone. And you hear that saying, you're going to die alone. You're going to die alone. Okay, that's fine. But that's just what it is. High quality women want high quality men, and there's no way around it. There's just no way around it.
And I would say too, to that Kevin Samuels talking point, is, you know what? Most of these women need to date out. They will find that, you know what? White men and other races of men will hold them higher than what KS and these other guys do. Because I've talked to my friends and that girl average at best.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them say, God, I would date her in a heartbeat.
I know.
She's pretty. I mean, she's not the supermodel, but dang, what more you want? They're like, oh my God. And Kevin said, oh yeah, you're average at best. Like, discard her like she's like,
like she's
know,
trash.
like,
And you know why? Because she's a high earner herself, and she wants a man that's on her level or above her level. Wants a man that's has a higher income than he has. And like I said, this thing where Black women are picking up the standards for Black men, and we're not accepting slavery as an excuse anymore. We're not trying to hear about how the man is trying to get you down, and the white man doesn't want you to succeed, and the government's after you, and all that. Like, Black women are tired of hearing it. We're like so done with that. So it's like this.
And here's the truth on that. You know what? Black women, the white man ain't trying to get you down. The white man's trying to date you and marry you. I'm just saying. And you know what? And that's true. I mean, we're marrying Black women more than we ever had in history, and we keep doing it more and more every year. So if white men don't like Black women, why is the numbers growing? And why are the marriages more successful interracially than any other group? So if we don't like, and here's my thing, I tell Black women, do not listen to a Black man telling you what us as white men want.
Oh, we don't listen to that. Trust me.
I mean, come to me, ask me what us as white men want. I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now. And not every Black woman is a white man's preference, no. But a lot of white men do have a Black woman as a preference. And Cynthia G, she highlighted this on the study where they asked white men and Black women who would date each other. More white men were into dating Black women than Black women dating white men. And that's true. Black women will turn white men down more than white men would turn a Black woman down. I'm going to tell you that's the truth. I mean, straight up. I mean, and that just goes,
I was gonna say the idea that we have not dated out as much. Black men think because we can't, and it's like no,
it's not. We just
it's not because we can't. It's that we just haven't done it yet. Because a lot of Black women simply prefer to be with Black men because they want Black families. And that is changing. Okay, that's not even a norm anymore. But the idea that we haven't dated out because we don't have the option to, I don't know why Black men choose to believe that. That's a fantasy. And trust me, Black women do not listen, because Black men are the only ones that say that. They try to speak on behalf of white men, and it's like, no, trust me, nobody's listening to that.
That would be like me going to Becky. Hey, Becky, do you think Black women like me? What you going to tell me? If she's interested in me, she say, nope, they can't stand you. If she thinks I'm ugly, well, yeah, you got a chance. Go over there. No, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, I wouldn't go to a white woman to ask her what Black women think of me. That's stupid. That makes no sense. But yeah, they sometimes, I've seen Black men tell, well, white men don't want you. This is the kind of woman they want. I'm like, wait, stop. I've seen Black women say, I saw this one YouTube video where this Black woman was saying, white men, you got to be fit, you got to be this, and you can't be too dark. And I'm like, what? Stop. Hold the phone. Number one, most white men love dark complected Black women. Number two, a lot of us white men don't even realize skin tone. We just see you as Black women. So what's really going on here? But people got their perceptions, and maybe there might be some women or some men like that like light skin or totally fit women. And well, us as men, some men are more pickier than others. Some women are more pickier. We're just people. I mean, if you looked at me and my wife's wedding pictures back when we got married, we were real skinny people. We look a lot different than we did. You look at us now today, we've gained weight. We're in our mid-50s. We're older people. We're grandparents. And some people says, well, you guys are together because of how you look. I say, okay, we're middle-aged. Okay, what's that mean? I'm not competing with a 20-year-old white guy. I can't compete. When it comes to looks, there's no way. But if I was competing, it'd be with a 50-year-old, someone in the same realm. But, people look at things to pick at you with, to put you down. And, when they say looks, that just kind of makes me wonder. I'm like, okay, no wonder your marriage don't work. No wonder your relationship don't work, because you're looking at you want the supermodel, but you're average.
So I wanted to actually say something about that, because I was going to say that there's a lot of stereotypes that are around white men.
Yes.
And there's a lot of stereotypes that are around Black women, and they're kind of negative. Like, I heard Black women are like this and white men are like that. And because we both have those negative stereotypes and the things that the media will portray, and even other Black men will portray, I think that's why we also are motivated to vet each other higher, because of all the bad things that we hear about each other.
Yeah.
And when it comes to Black men and white women, they both have they don't really have that same kind of stereotypes floating around them, except for I heard Black men have big, this, and their stereotypes are a lot, they're not as negative, and they're also really shallow. So when they get together, their guards are already down. They have less reason to vet because of the things that they've heard. She heard she heard something that she wants to try out and experience. He heard that she's really submissive and really feminine, because that's what Black men say. And I'm like, oh my Jesus, these are the reasons why y'all get together. So with overly positive stereotypes and less reason to vet the person, of course you're going to have a high rate of failure, because you're not even taking the time to know if that person, because like I said, once all the novelty is over and it's just you and them in the house, do y'all get along? Do y'all even like each other?
Yeah.
Does everything he say get on your nerves? Because that happens a lot in relationships. They can just be sitting there and they just getting on your nerves because you really don't like them.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, these stereotypes, and oh my God, oh man. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to go there, but oh wow. Yeah. But anyway.
I remember Cohen did a video on one of the stereotypes that that stereotype about Black men and their size. And I'm like, y'all, it is a stereotype. Trust me. And that's one of it is.
And you know what? Okay. I love to debunk that thing, because I'm not saying nothing, but if you got a big belly and you could go to the belly button, just saying. Okay, I better stop. But, no, I mean, it's a stereotype. We're going to just keep it at that. But hey, I mean, and I tell people, if they say that stereotype, I say, okay, well, you got it like that. Good for you, brother. I mean, you got it. But you know what? Yeah, you're right. There's just so much stereotypes, but
and people date based off of stereotypes. People will date based off of things that they hear.
And you know what? I've heard some white women say they're disappointed in that.
Oh my God. Hold on, let me go. I wasn't expecting you to say that.
But you know what? I was just like,
oh my God.
Okay. I'm just going to say I'm confident in that stereotype. Okay, I'm just going to say I'm confident. But let's get away from that. That's not important right now. But yeah, I mean, every individual is different. Stereotypes, just stereotype. Okay. Okay.
You have to like. There's some that are good. There's some that are bad. But everybody has their stereotypes. But I'm just
Yeah,
saying that for
and
Black
and
men.
yeah, I'm sorry. I was just going to iterate on that. When it comes to stereotype, you know what? You know what? Find out the truth. The
Mm-hmm.
truth is out there, and you know what? Stereotypes ain't always true.
Oh, they're not.
Sometimes
That's
they
what I was gonna
are.
say. We have to let some of them go completely. There's a little bit of truth sometimes to some of them.
Yeah,
What Black men call angry and Black women, I've heard white men call direct. I've heard white men say
yeah,
Black women don't take crap. They don't buy your crap. They speak up for themselves very quickly, and they're very direct. And that stereotype of anger is just interpreted differently from white men. So and they don't take it as anger. So it's like there's so many negative stereotypes. It's like one of those things that's kept us from like dating more in the past. But I just think that a lot of them we just need to like completely let go. Don't even not don't even think about it, but don't put all too much thought in it, because you probably none of it is true. Probably
yeah.
none of it
Right.
is true, and that's what comes sometimes when like that's why it's such a turn off for Black women when white guys try to act like something they're not, because the belief that that's what we like. No, we do not.
Yeah,
Not
it is.
even in Black men. No, we do not.
Yeah, and here's the thing. You see that, and you see the pandering going on and stuff, and you know, I I was looking at. You remember when Hillary came on and she said, "Okay, I have hot sauce in my purse." You
Yeah.
remember that? And I'm
Jesus.
just like, but you know what was weird is I asked my wife, "Is that a thing?" Because I eat hot sauce with food, but I didn't know that was like a Black people thing. I mean,
Uh-huh.
us white people eat hot sauce too. Is that? I was just dumbfounded. I was like, "Is that really a stereotype?" And she was like, "Yeah, it is." And I'm like,
Hmm.
"Oh, okay." Because at first I didn't understand it. What's the deal about her having hot sauce? I
Yeah.
eat hot sauce.
Yeah. But she
But
she said she said she carries it around in her purse. Hillary, no, you do not. No, you don't. You stop
yeah,
with that pathetic
but
pandering,
I
please.
understood it. I was like, "Okay, no, you don't."
No, you don't.
And
So
I
stupid.
I know she was talking and she was trying to change her uh I one event her pitch her trying to get an accent because she was somewhere down south trying to sound like Black people down south, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, really? You? I was like, and me as a white guy, I just hold my head down like, oh my god, I'm not like that. Please, people, don't look at me like that. But it feels that way sometimes. You, you know, um, when you see white guys going around and they like Black women, but they're trying to act like the ghetto Black guy,
Mhm.
like stereotype,
Yeah.
and they're saying the N word. I'm like, God damn, don't say that.
Mm.
And I'm just like, it's so embarrassing.
I
And
remember this white guy would just came up to me and he was just like, I think white people are ugly. I think white girls are so ugly. Like they're ugly. And I was just looking at him like, okay, you know, I, I just take the pressure off. Like nobody considers stereotypes and the things we've heard as much as white men and Black women do. Like nobody takes them into more consideration than we do. We need to take
yeah,
stereotypes into less consideration. We don't have to date with all that crap in mind. It would be a nicer experience. Honestly, you'd have a nicer time because you're not thinking about um all that dumb stuff. Just get to know that person. And kind of like going back to the kind of person that's ready to date, for one, is that person that can date with a clear and open mind, that comes with nothing but love and respect and is willing to give the benefit of the doubt. um you have some Black women that are very like woke and very conscious and very
yeah,
aware of everything, and you probably might have a little bit harder time dating someone like that,
you
because
will.
You just will. Like, I would say, if you want to date a black woman that is, you just want to date one carefree. Get the carefree black girl, like that girl in the video you played the other day. Perfect example.
Yes,
perfect
you're right.
example.
And Loren, you're right on point. You couldn't have said it any better. And I've dated those women that were extra woke or conscience or whatever. And the thing of it is, when you date, and I'm going to tell white men, when you date those women, you got to have your act together. You got to be doing things just right. And you slip up, you're done. And I'm not going in on woke black women because but if you're not woke enough, you're done. They will kick you to the curb. And then when you're kicked to the curb, they'll kick you on the ground and keep kicking you. And no, I'm serious.
Stop.
And you don't and then we'll pour some hot sauce on it. Yeah.
Jesus.
No, I'm serious.
I didn't know it was that bad. I was just guessing. My God.
Oh God, I've dated. I dated a couple women like that, and they kicked me to the curb so hard. And you know what? They had so much hate towards me, and I'm like confused. Like, what did I do? Like, what? I tried. Yeah. No, but seriously,
she wasn't ready to date out. She wasn't. No, she's expecting more from you than what you're able to give as a white man. You just want her, and she wants to carry the weight of the world, because those kind of women carry the weight of the world and the weight of all the ancestors on their shoulders. You know, and I'm not saying that that's maybe always a bad thing, but like, if you don't know how to relax and you don't know how to like also just live and enjoy your life as an individual, anybody would have a hard time dating you.
And that's right. And you know what? There are those woke white guys that have that white guilt that will pander to you, that will apologize to you, that will tell you how evil and stupid they are. They will kiss your butt and your feet at the same time, and they're out there. I'm serious.
Mm-hmm.
But even those guys don't even last more than the ones that hold their ground. So if you got any animosity towards white people, or if you got some sort of anger, or you looking at the past on the evil that white people have done, and that's that bothers you, do not date out. Don't do it.
Great advice.
Find you the best black man you can, and just live happily ever after. Do not go for the white guy, because I'm going to tell you, us as white guys, we know history, and yeah, we feel bad about it, but we don't want to live our life apologizing for it. You know, I'm just going to say that. That's not to say we're not going to be sympathetic. We're not going to understand what you go through, and we should. But what I'm saying is, you know, you got to give us a break, because we weren't around towards those times, you know. And see if we treat you right, see if we love you, see if we take care of you. That's what you got to focus on, because all that other stuff will come. But yeah, you're right. I mean, and here's the thing, interracial dating, you got to accept that person for the person they are. Just like you would, if you're a black woman and you date a white guy, you got to give him the same love and respect as you would a black man. And you can't add a little extra on him because he's a white guy. You just gotta. Now, if he don't respect you, or if his family says racial stuff and he don't defend you, yeah, he's wrong. That's not right. But I mean, if he does all those things, but he just don't understand what you go through, I mean, you gotta take that into account. I'm just saying. But
that's a good point, though, for white men that want to date out. Because you know what, we're definitely past the age and stage where you're scared to bring your black girlfriend home. If that's going to be a big deal and you don't think you're ready for it, like, I remember I read this article about this white guy who got engaged to his girlfriend who was black, but he said he wasn't sure. It was like one of those like relationship articles, and he said he wasn't sure what to do because his friends told him that They just don't know if they're ready to see him with the black girl. And so he's just like, my friends mean a lot to me and I love her, but I feel stuck. I feel stuck in the middle. If you're stuck in the middle and you need your friend's permission to date a black girl and they're all gonna have fun, don't date. Don't date a black girl. Go where your friends are comfortable. Go where you are comfortable. If that's if that's where you're at, you're not ready. Please don't do that to her. Please don't do that.
And who would put their friends above who they want to date? That's a problem right there. If that's even an issue, you don't need to do it.
The article told him that. The article, like the person responded, then the relationship article responded, and they were like, your friends, so your racist friends don't want to see you with the black girl, and you're confused about this.
Right?
That's crazy. I don't get how white people make it so big. Like, a black woman is just like, I don't understand why it's still this like, oh my God thing. And some people do. I just don't get it.
I don't know either. It's weird. I don't understand that. When I chose my wife, What my friends think is, well, my friends were never against it. My wife lost friends though. She lost friends over me. And in the beginning, that showed that she really loved me because these were friends she was close to, and they said, "Don't marry him," and she kicked them to the curb. Well, now they're okay. See how that worked out. But me and my wife love each other. We're into each other, and my wife's the most important person in my life.
It should be you and her against the world. If it's not you and her against the world, then you're not ready.
Yeah, and that's with any couple. I mean, both two black people or two white people. If it's not you against the world, your marriage is going to fail anyway because you don't put that your wife or husband above everybody else. And it's true. And me and my wife did that. So I mean, what people think, okay, whatever. And you know what? I like them people seeing us later on and say, yeah, it worked, didn't it? Yeah. And it feels good because people doubted you. It kind of, me and my wife talked about it. We felt good because our marriage worked because the men she dated never got married. She's still married. The girlfriends I had that kicked me to the curb look at me now, and we're doing very well. And these people ain't married, and I'm just like, wow. So it kind of feels good because we did it the right way. We got married because we love each other, and we're people of faith, so we prayed about it. We, and we understood that you got to live by rules once you're married too. And I always tell people that I talk to that are married, that are young, I says, okay, you love your wife, right? Oh yeah, most definitely. Okay. Now, do you think other women look good? Well, yeah, they do. Okay, where are your eyes at? And I always say this because when I was in the Army, I counseled a lot of people. I was like, okay, where are your eyes at? Does she look good? And they'll say, yeah, she's hot. But okay, what about your wife? Is your wife hot? And they're like, what? What are you talking about? Exactly. Your eyes need to be on your wife. Your desires need to be on your wife.
Yep.
Your wants need to be on your wife. Every little thing you think about a woman should only have your wife's face on it. Period. End of story. There ain't no such thing as you can look, don't touch. Because when you look, don't touch, you end up touching. And you know what? That's where marriages go south.
Yeah.
And same thing for women. And when you're in a marriage, and a lot of marriages, people love each other. They're glad to be married, but they slip because they're not putting their wife first or their husband first. You got to constantly put each other first. That's the success in a marriage. You can read all the books you want to, you can do this and that, but I always tell people, where is your eyes? Where's your heart? That's where your love is. If I desire a woman, it's my wife. If my heart's with a woman, it's with my wife. I forsake all others, right? We talk about that Bible verse. And same thing goes for women. But how many people live by that? Think about it. There are people that are married, love each other, but cheat on each other.
Yeah.
Why? And why is that? But I just threw that in there because I think it's important, because if you're going to get married, you're going to give that person yourself and everything. The two of you need to be on that same page. It is biblical. The Bible will tell you that's what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
And if you're not doing it, you're in danger. I'm just going to say that, because us as people, we're flawed. I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, when it comes to interracial dating, marriage, you got to be all in. If you're not all in, don't do it. If he's not woke enough, don't do it. If you're worried about what your friends think about her, don't do it. If you can't take your mom being upset because she's black, don't do it. You know what I'm saying? If you love her enough and nothing else bothers you,
do it. Yep.
Go all in.
Yep.
But yeah.
That's the best advice. That's the main advice, because it's something that, like I said, once the novelty of it wears off, and once the excitement wears off, and I'm with this kind of girl, I'm with this kind of man, after all that is over, you're just two people under the same roof. I hope that y'all like each other, because a lot of people found out that they don't like each other that much, like during this pandemic, and they're stuck home together. Domestic violence rates went up.
Yeah, and they have, because people, like I said, when you're married too, that's got to be your best friend, not just someone that you could get intimate with and it's all wonderful and great, but that's got to be your best friend too, because you got to love to be with that person. And I think mine and Sandy's marriage has worked is because we're best friends. I get off work, we watch a movie, we do something. I might take her to dinner, but we're just and some nights, when I'm off, we go to the movies and we go to the dinner. We're always doing something because we like doing stuff together. And you know what? It's like a date. Yeah, we're married, but hey, let's go see a movie. And with this pandemic, we haven't done that in a while, and it's been awesome to be able to do that. Now that hockey season started, I need to get some time off to take my wife to a hockey game, because I love doing that. Oh my God. She loves it too. I got her interested in hockey. I'm in the NASCAR, but she don't think that's exciting. But I took my wife. Now I could take my wife to a rodeo and she loves that, but
it's interesting.
Boy.
I was gonna say, I used to work in sports, and I just always noticed that NASCAR was like the least popular out of everything that we ever did. NASCAR was like I thought people loved NASCAR.
Well, it depends on where you're from. I mean, people down south love it. Here's my thing with NASCAR. I love watching it because I kind of understand it a little bit, because you got the drivers, right? They're racing around the track, and people say it's boring because they take left turns all day and they're just racing. You got the leaders, but there's so much involved in that sport. You got the driver. You got to be a good driver. Now you got the car. You got the pit crew. You got to have a pit crew. They got to, change the tires, give you the fuel, do whatever repairs are involved, and they got to be quick and good at what they do. And then you got the crew chief that, is talking to the driver going around, and then you got the mechanics that are repairing the car and fixing it up, because everybody gets like the standard car, because you can't have. It's got to be somewhat equal. But when you put in all these elements with crew chief, with the mechanics, with the pit crew, with the driver in the car. There's so many dynamics. And that's what I understand. I see it. And when I watch in the race, my wife watches, is like, how can you watch this all day? But I can, because I see what's going on. No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
But, you know, she's not all into it. It's like, but I love it. You know, I told people my favorite driver was, Kyle Busch. That's my favorite driver because, you know, he's hot-headed. He kind of gets all involved in it. It's kind of like, you know, Serena Williams is so crazy about tennis, right? She's
She's very passionate about tennis.
Yes. And then you look at John McEnroe, which she really looked up to. That guy was nuts. But he's passionate. This Kyle Busch is passionate. And he would do some crazy stuff, but it's entertaining, but you kind of understand the passion, because sometimes athletes and people in sports are so passionate in what they do, it gets to them emotionally, physically, and but that's the competitive spirit. But yeah, I mean, I love NASCAR, but that's what I see in it. My wife just sees a bunch of guys driving around.
Yeah.
You know,
I like NASCAR too. I wish I would have gone to some games if they ever had any in New York. They were always in like Tennessee and places like that.
It's a thing down south, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I like it. I'll watch it on TV. I'll watch it all day if I'm off work. Now hockey, I got my wife into that. You know, I'm a Dallas Stars fan. I got a Arizona Coyotes jersey, but we've went to some games in Arizona, Los Angeles, Dallas, you know, the places close by, Denver. You know, I got her interested in it, but that's an intense sport. You know, they're checking each other against the glass. Guys are going in the penalty box. You got people making fun of them. Sometimes you might see a fight. I mean, it's all intense and crazy, and that's what makes it so fun.
Yeah, I heard it's like a violent sport too.
Oh, it is.
Kind of bloody.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it used to be worse than it is now, but I mean, yeah, they get into it. I mean, it's a rough sport. But I mean, we like watching football and basketball too, and sometimes baseball. You know, but
like there's so many things that like you as a couple, especially a new couple, can do together. Like especially if you're interracial or whatever, there's so many things that you can try. There's so many like having to talk about history or racial conversations, or you know, just like really intense stuff. Not that it's never going to come up, right? But just like the video we played the last time with Eve, and talking to her, talking about how her and her husband, we don't talk about our race all the time. Like we rarely do. Sometimes he has a question about something and I answer it for him, but we don't even talk about it anymore. And like that's goals. That's the way, that's what it should turn into. That's what it should look like.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Once you get married to someone you're married for a while, well, me and my wife never talked about race anyway, really. And when we did, it was like we were on the same page anyway, so it's not really a discussion. But people think that we got to address the issue and we got to hammer it out. And you're a white guy, you better understand the issues and the problems Black people go through. And if you don't, you know, it's like, how can I understand what Black people go through when I'm not Black? Really?
Do you remember The Bachelor? It was like the guy, he was gonna go. I don't watch The Bachelor, but I saw this clip kind of went viral, and so he wanted her, but then he was like offended that she went to this this antebellum South party, and he was like really offended by it, so he didn't choose her in the end. And you know, he's like, you don't understand what it's like being a Black man in America. And I'm like, see, this is exactly why Black men and white women don't work, and why like y'all don't even try to understand each other at all. Because I'm like, she went to a party that's like what her culture does. Like down south, that antebellum thing is like huge down there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't even, I'm not all that familiar with it. I mean, in her mind, I guarantee you she got dressed up and to go to a party. Why would she stop to think about what it's like to be a black man in America as she's on her way to a party?
Yeah.
Seriously. That was
Yeah.
so freaking stupid.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I'll tell you a little bit about my history. You know, and here's the misconception. And when you talk about family and stuff, I got a lot of family members down south, and you know, go and see cousins in Kentucky, Tennessee, and stuff. When I was a little kid, they give me a Confederate flag, and back then I had one, but I didn't think of it as a racial symbol. It was just kind of part of the heritage type thing. And I wouldn't have one now. No way, because the perception would be you're racist, because a lot of
if I saw a white guy with a bunch of Confederate flags, I would probably not talk to him. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but you know, because the image is, it's kind of a lot of hate groups use that flag.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
And you know, I got family members down south. If I studied my history, you know, a lot of people came in through New York. My family mostly came in through South Carolina, through Charleston, you know, and I mean, I had some that came up through New York, don't get me wrong, but majority of them came through there. So when I was growing up, we had that. And I never thought of it as a racist symbol. I know a lot of hate groups use that. But it's kind of weird. And back in the day, when I go visit like my cousins and stuff, I've seen black people that had like T-shirts with Confederate flags. It was just, it wasn't a thing. But today it seemed as that's a racial symbol. Now I would never have that flag or that symbol on me because I know how people see it. And the history of that, and I tell people the history of that because I know it. You know, when you go to the Civil War, the Confederate flag wasn't the Confederate flag. It was a battle flag. It was used with the Virginia Army and I think a couple other states. It wasn't the Confederate flag. It was a battle flag. And when Lee surrendered to Grant, he gave the order to put the flag up and never bring it out again. It was never supposed to come back out. Now, people brought it out. Oh, it's our heritage. It's this and that. And I understand that, but it wasn't supposed to come back out. Now, the real Confederate flag, it looks nothing like what you think of the Confederate flag. Now,
oh, really?
Oh, no, it's like, let me think. It's like, it's got like a circle of stars, but it's like got two stripes. I'd have to pull it up. But the Confederate flag, what you see is a battle flag. It was only used for battle. It wasn't, in the flag, there's 13 stars. Well, there were only 11 states that seceded from the Union, but they have 13 because they recognized Missouri and Kentucky because those were northern states, but the South recognized them as southern states.
Okay.
Kind of weird dynamic, but yeah, I mean, that's just a cultural thing. Today, nobody's going to wear it because people look at it as racist. I wouldn't have it because people would think I'm a white supremacist because I have it. But back in the 70s, 80s, I mean, people wore it. I've seen black people have the Confederate flag, you know, on T-shirts and stuff down south, but it was just a thing.
I've seen that too, to be honest. Like I've seen, but I feel like you have to be from the South to kind of either be okay with it or not okay with it, or like understand it. Like when you're not from the South, I just have, you know, my understanding of the Confederate flag is something that I would not wear. And if I were to like go into like a white guy's house and he had like a giant Confederate flag, I would be scared. I would assume the worst.
And that's understandable. It raised all kinds of red flags, like that's what you see. I kind of understand it because I have a lot of family from down south. You know, my family's in New Mexico, Arizona, but the reason we ended up in the Southwest is because my great grandfather, you know, was a World War I veteran. He was suffering from mustard gas, so he came out west because of the dry climate. And my grandfather on my dad's side, he had tuberculosis. So our family came out west because of the dry climate, because it was easier on them, because there wasn't so much humidity. It was more drier climate. You know, but that's, and it's amazing because my grandfather survived, my great grandfather survived World War I, had mustard gas poisoning. His wife died at 26, and the man never got married again. Isn't that crazy? Now, that's on my mom's side. Now, my dad's side, my great grandfather on my dad's side had tuberculosis. So they came out west, and he died at 40. And my great grandmother was,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, my great grandmother was a few years older or younger than him, and she never got remarried. And I talked to my dad about this, and I've studied my family history, and I'm talking like going back from you know, Northern Ireland and stuff, from Scotland, from, you know, and I've traced it down, and I have found that through our family, our marriages have lasted, even though they have been widows and widowers, never got married again.
That's very interesting.
Yes, we got a blessing. We love who we're married, and you know what? I think about that. I think when I was younger, I was like, how can you not get married being that young? But since I've, you know, married my wife, I understand. If something happened to my wife, I could say with a clear conscience, I'm not going to get married again. That's my one and only. And that's, I just think it's a blessing of love that's been passed down, you know. You know, sometimes, you know, our actions, we curse our family or we bless them. And I think somewhere generationally, somebody did something right, because our marriages are blessed. They last.
That is very interesting.
And you know what? In my family, a lot of marriages fell, but me and my brother are strong. I mean, I've been married almost 27 years, and he's been married almost 20 years, and everybody else is going to crap. But I'm just saying. But I looked at that and I was like, wow, that's amazing. Because this was a young man that was suffering from mustard gas poisoning. His wife died at 26. Never married again. And actually, he lived to be like, I think, in his early 80s. I mean, he lived a rough life because he had that mustard gas crap going on, and
he lived a really long time without getting remarried.
Yes, and my great grandmother too, and you know, and I look back, these people were heavy Christians. They, you know, I just, and I never knew my great grandfather because he died before I was born. But my great grandmother on my dad's side, I knew her. She lived to be 106 years old. I mean, I remember I was a little kid, like 3 years old, and she was like in her late 80s or something like that. And she would hold my hand and she'd tell me how beautiful Ireland was and this and that, because her father was from Ireland. And then my grandfather was like, yeah, if it's so damn great, why do we leave it? You know, that was kind of funny. But yeah, I mean.
Have you ever been to Ireland?
No, well, I have. I've been through there.
But traveling through, but you didn't stay there?
No, I didn't stay there. I would like to, because I know exactly places in Ireland and Scotland where I trace family, you know, family descendants. And I got like towns. And my mom's family, my grandfather, I traced his family from a little town in northern France, kind of almost close to Normandy and stuff, because well, he was French, and it's kind of interesting. But I've traced this stuff, and I did the DNA thing where they do the percentages and all that stuff. But yeah, I would like to go to Europe and trace where. I mean, I see these ancestors. I mean, I can go from like Sweden to Ireland, Scotland, Wales, France, Germany. Yeah, I mean, it tells you a percentage, because what they do is they compare your DNA to people from that area.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's pretty accurate, because I've actually traced it by birth documents and all that stuff.
That's where I decided to get it done, because people said that it was really accurate, and they were able to like actually match it up to like documents that they had and family that they already knew, because I don't know anything about my family at all, like past my mother and father, and like my grandmother is like as far back as I can go, and she passed away like a long time ago. So like
yeah,
I'm mostly a lot of Black people are like maybe 60-70% African, and we have like a lot of high percentages of European, but I only have like 5% European. I have like 2% Sweden and Norway, 1% Wales, and 1% I don't know, Great Britain or something like that. But, but I love Ireland. I love Ireland. It is. I've traveled a lot through Europe. I've lived in Scandinavia for a while, because I just love Europe, and I just think that it's so much more beautiful. It rains too much. That's why I just like I wanted to live there, but I'm just like I just can't. It just rains all the time. I need the sun.
Oh yeah, well, it's
just always raining.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, those things are pretty accurate. I had to spend some money, because I had to, tracing my father's ancestry was hard. And, they weren't really wealthy people, and some of them were indentured servants and this and that. So, I mean, there weren't really good records. So it took some digging, it took some money. My mom's side, now they were wealthy. I mean, I traced them back to, my grandfather from France. My grandmother's family, I traced her back to like real fast, all the way up to the Church of England and stuff. And I found that Major General John Thomas is like in our family tree and stuff. He was big. Yeah, it's just like, wow. But yeah, and I found out that I had an ancestor that fought in the 1812, the Battle of New Orleans, when the British came across, and, when they said, don't fire till you see the whites of their eye. And I'm like, wow. And I told him, when I talked to my son, I said, you know what? When you see history, I mean, our family's there. And, I mean, good and bad were there. I mean, it just you go into that and you find out stuff you just never knew. And you find out that actually people, you're related to famous people, and it's weird. It's like you don't expect that, but
that's really interesting. And but that's also like one of the beautiful things about marriage and family is that sort of foundation, and that's sort of like that gives that lineage is important. And it's also very important what you're passing down yourself, because you and your wife are here now. So what are you going to pass down, and what are you going to leave behind for your kids and their kids and their kids? So like that stable foundation, that stability, that like family unit, that's something that's like very important. And that's the only way I would ever want to do a relationship. Like if it's not going to be based in stability and love and marriage and faithfulness, then like I say, if it's a marriage, if you're not going to do it right, then don't do it at all.
No, you're right. You're right. And but it's neat. We can look at the past and we can see the good and the evil in it, and it's just like, but yeah, it's just amazing. But yeah, I mean, we leave in legacy. When you look at the Bible and you talk about, I mean, you read into it, and God, when He blesses men, He'll say, you know what? I'm going to bless you, and I'm going to spread your seed far and wide, right? And what He's saying is He's going to spread your family far and wide. And, the Bible tells us, to get married, have a family, be fruitful and multiply. And that's what it's about, having children, carrying on your family structure, carrying on your legacy. That's very important. And, I want to pass on a blessing. When I pass, when me and my wife no longer walk the earth, I want our kids and grandkids to remember us. And I want them to be happy and successful. And people say, well, you're in an interracial relationship. Don't you want your kids to look like your grandparents? I'm like, no, I don't care what my kids look like. I don't care, and I've always told my kids, me and my wife, we don't care the race they choose. We don't. What we care about is the character. Is that person, and with my daughters, I'm really picky. That man has to step up to the plate. My son, I'm picky too, but he's a knucklehead. Us as men are knuckleheads. We are. But we want him to choose the right person, because we want to pass on our family and pass on a blessing, not a curse. And the thing of it is, me marrying my wife, me taking care of my wife, me taking care of my kids, and sacrificing, yes, I'm going to have to do without so they can have. That's life. But you know what? If I do that, they live a better life. My kids live a better life, my grandkids. And it's get passed down through generation. Now, if I slept with my wife, impregnated her, and said, you know what, it was fun, but I got this other woman on the side, and, I got to go, then I have kids with other women, is that producing a legacy? Is that producing a blessing or a curse?
That's producing chaos. Broken homes bring nothing but chaos.
Yeah, no doubt. But my thing is our actions in life and our character define us as a person. And my thing is I want my kids and grandkids and beyond to be happy, to be successful, to be good people. I don't care if they look black when it goes down generations or they look white. I could care less. That thing don't bother me. And when people say, well, black people are going to disappear or white people, so we got to stay together. No, we don't. Because the original man didn't look like us anyway. So, you know what? If we go back to that, that's fine. But, I don't, yeah.
Some people are like afraid of like, oh, what if you wipe out your race or something like that? Like you're all gonna wipe each other out. And I've had black men tell me that about interracial dating. They were like, you're watering yourself down. That's what they say. But why would you water yourself down? And I'm like, well, what about you watering yourself down? Because you can interracially date, right?
Yeah.
They're like, well, and really what they say is that like because you're the woman and we birth children, the responsibility to keep the race strong is really like our job. We should do it. And I'm like, I don't know about that.
Thank you. You know what?
I don't know about that.
I disagree with that. The woman's responsibility is, you know what? Just being a lady, being true to herself. And you know what? I would say to ladies, choose that right guy. He needs to compete for you. And you know what? If you feel that he can provide for you and he makes you happy in all areas, physical, spiritual, emotional, everything. If he can meet those standards, then go for it. And it don't matter if he's black or white or Chinese. If he meets your standards, I would say go for it. If not, don't. I mean, and I don't think that's right to have a racial thing as a qualifier. You know what I mean? I don't, especially you want quality people. It's not going to always be someone that looks like you. My wife is the best wife I could ever have. And she's different from me, but it works.
Hold on, Brent. I'm gonna get a drink. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay, no worries. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, people. People. Gosh, I'm losing my mind. Yeah, but you got to choose who you're comfortable with, who lifts you up, who takes care of you, especially women. I mean, you got to be extra cautious. And what I would say with women is, you know what? With women, I mean, in a relationship, it's more tougher on women than it is men, I believe. Women, when it comes to sexual stuff, it's harder on the woman's body. A woman gives birth, a man don't. So I think you got to be protective. You got to have the man that's going to be there for you. Not just the one that just there for you for the moment. Yeah, but but like I said, choose who's right for you. Be selfish. Don't choose a person because of their race. Choose them because of their character. Choose them because they love you. Choose them because they put you first. Don't choose them because they look like you.
That's basically what the trucker was saying. When he said a message to Black women, he says that, and like I said, he tried to be very careful, but Black women are still triggered. But he said a lot of you don't choose right. A lot of you don't know how to choose, and you choose, and because black women do choose based on the race and not based on the character.
They do.
It's not getting us good results.
No, they do, and he's right. Everything he said was on point.
Mm-hmm.
And, I seen some comments on his thing, and people were telling me through email. They said, this guy got a lot of death threats, and I'm like, really? What did he say that was so bad? I mean, he was telling the truth. He didn't say black men. But truth be told, in the Black community, if you're doing it statistically, 1 out of 4 Black women get married with their same race. So something's not right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, to be all fair, you can look in the white community and we get married, but we change our wives like underwear. Seriously. And I'm not being funny. We really do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As a group. So we're lacking on both ends. We're lacking across the board statistically. And that's why my point is date out, marry out. I always preach that, not to do it just to do it, but to have that option. Because if you're 2 Black people and you find each other and you love each other and it works out, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's say you're a Black woman and that Black man hadn't come for you. Well, there might be that white guy that might love you. There might be that Asian guy. There might be that Hispanic guy that loves you. And you might find love in another group.
Yeah.
So open up your options. If women, here's the thing, women, you hold the key. And I'm talking to women across the board, whether you're Black, white, Chinese, Russian, whatever you are, right? You hold the key. If your options are wide open, guess what? Everybody's competing for you. Okay? Men have their preferences, sure, but there's so many more competing with you. Now, with black women, because black women are so loyal and they got big hearts, you know, they will. A lot of them will stay waiting for the black man because they think that's what they're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them will grow old and not get married. You know
I told
what I
you
mean?
that one woman said that she will gladly die alone with 50 million cats before she ever lays down with a non-black man. That is how some black women feel.
It is. And you know, that's their right. It is. I don't have no hate for that. I don't have no disrespect for that. I do have concern because are you going to be happy with cats living alone?
I think I have like I just think that's sad. Like that's sad because every woman wants to be in a healthy, happy relationship. Nobody wants to die alone with 50 million cats. Okay, I promise you, no woman wants that.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
The fact that you would choose that over yourself and over the option of someone that will actually get you and treat you right it's a sign of low self-esteem. And it's one of those things that a lot of people I just don't think understand being black women that are raised, especially around the black community and black people. It has kind of been drilled into us that we're supposed to be the protectors of the community, and because we're seen as the stronger ones for whatever reason. We're seen as the stronger ones, so we're supposed to be the ones that do the protecting and carry it all on, you know. And some women just take that and they never let it go. And a lot of women, especially with this whole divested movement, have, you know, they've really opened that up and shown like they shined a light on that, you know, as wrong as it is, because it starts very young. Like how do you just decide that you're gonna die alone with 50 million cats? Like no what that's not even normal to say out loud. That's not normal. So but yeah, a lot of black women definitely have this this sense of duty and this sense of like they have to be there no matter what. But a lot of black women are definitely not doing that anymore as well. So opening up your options, definitely. Still vetting carefully, but I think maybe we can relax on the vetting a little bit, because I feel like we over vet.
I think
we definitely over vet a little bit, but I think it's a good thing, because it also goes to show that like you're looking for a quality man. That's the whole point of vetting. That's the whole point of the vetting process. We're not dating out just to have a man that's white. You're dating out because you want a family. You want a relationship. You want children within a marriage. You want a man that's going to do his part and do his job. I always say, I don't understand white women that come mess around with black men to not get married and have a bunch of like children, and then they decide they want to date a white man now. And I'm like, I think that's crazy. I think that's nuts.
I don't know. I can't explain that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've seen women that have gotten, like, I've known in high school that have married black men and then later on end up marrying white men. And they have kids and stuff. And gosh, there's an echo for some reason. Is it me? I don't know. No, but I've seen that. And let me turn the volume down. Let me see if I can fix it that way.
I don't hear any echo.
You don't? Okay, it's just me. That's good. But I've seen that dynamic, what you're talking about, and I've seen, girls that I went to high school with that married black men and had kids, but later on ended up marrying a white guy.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing I found is there's two women I know that married white guys after married black guys, and there's a stigma that white men won't marry white women that marry black guys.
Men. Mm-hmm.
A lot of that is true, but it's not absolute. I might say that. But yeah, I've seen that happen. Let me try plugging. I'm hearing an echo.
Okay,
Can you
try to fix it.
Yeah, can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Okay, I just plugged in my microphone. I still get an echo. I don't know.
You sound better though. I like that mic. You sound better.
Oh, do I sound better?
Yeah,
I put this in. Yeah, it's awesome. But yeah, I mean, I've seen that dynamic, and I remember the Real Truth was talking about that when he was talking about marriages with black women, white men, and white men, black ladies, and he was talking about that subject about how white men have problems with marrying white women that have interracial kids.
Mm-hmm.
And he's right. He is so right. That ain't the absolute truth because I got people I go to church with that actually have married white women with interracial kids, and they're okay. But that I think is a exception to the rule because they see people as people.
Mm-hmm. I do think that's a little bit of an exception. A little bit.
It is.
I'm, and it's not always marriage because it's actually gotten a lot worse today. Because men are not even getting married as much as they used to. So now we just have kids being born and no marriage. So
you're right.
What I see, especially where I'm from in Philly, it was like rampant. It was just like I mean, like I would be like going to work, and there's always like this these like courthouses, and those are like the family. That's where like the family courthouses where people come dispute child's, parenting and all that type of stuff like that. And I would just watch it over the years, and I would watch the trends over the years, and I would like watch, people like I remember even this white girl that I worked with, and she told me that she notices that black women are jealous of her when they see her with the half black child, and she feels like they're jealous. And I'm like, you have like 3 different children by 3 different black men, and you're not married to any of them. Do you really think a black woman is jealous of you?
I don't think so.
That's a lot going on.
I'm going to say no on that one. I'm not a white woman, but I'm going to bet that's a no.
Like, yep, but like that thing where they need you to be jealous so bad. I'm like, can you get your life together? Like, get a life that actually someone would want to be jealous of before you even say that. But I mean, I'm just saying this single motherhood rate has gotten like out of control, and men overall are not marrying as much as they used to, but babies are still being born.
Yes,
so society's going backwards with that.
It is. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, I've never understood that. It seems like black men and white women are trying to get validation.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when we do it, we don't care what anybody thinks.
Yeah,
I think that's true in a way. I don't. I mean, I don't care what Becky does. I don't. I could care less. I mean, I love her and I hope she does well, but I'm not worried what she thinks of me or how she feels about my wife. That's just weird.
Black women definitely used to care, like back in I think in the 70s, it was like a big deal. It was a big thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's when it really opened up with
Mhm.
black men, white women.
Yeah, and black women just thought they were missing out on something, and at that time, you know, they still really definitely were not looking at dating white men at all. Like they wanted black communities, they wanted black families, and all of that came from the fact that they had just kind of in the 70s, they had just kind of gotten past the civil rights movement, and they had just
Yeah.
gotten past, you know, all the stuff that happened in the 60s. So
Yes.
they're thinking they're going to get these, you know, this fairy tale world that didn't happen. And it took a long time for black women to open up their options, but black women back then definitely did care. But black men need to understand that we are not in the 70s anymore. These new generations see everything that's going on. We have statistics, we have numbers, we have information. We know exactly what's going on, and we know how to make better choices. So I think they can. I think they need to let that go, because the 70s black woman that didn't want to see black men and white women is not the case anymore at all.
Yeah. And you know what's neat about the 70s? I look back on it, and you know a lot of black celebrities, women had white husbands.
Mm-hmm.
Donna Summer, Diana
Mm-hmm.
Ross, Diane Carroll, Eartha Kitt.
Wow.
You know,
Those were the smart ones. I didn't even know that. Those were the smart.
Yes.
I did not know that.
I didn't either till I looked it up, and I was a big Donna Summer fan back in the 70s. You know, when I was a little kid, because I was everybody loved Donna Summer back in the 70s.
Yeah.
You know, that's way before your time, Loren. I'm going ancient history.
I don't know who Donna Summers is.
You got to understand, I was born in the 60s, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've heard of her. I've heard of her, but I'm not
Donna Summer was everything.
Was she a singer?
Yes, she was a singer,
okay.
performer. Yeah, she was very popular. She was known as the Queen of Disco back in the 70s.
I'm sure I've heard some of her music, you know, because my mom used to play lots of music. I just probably didn't know it was her name on it, but I'm sure I've heard probably a lot of her music.
Yeah, if you look her up, you'll find out who she is. Diana Ross, you know her.
Definitely.
She white men. Eartha Kitt, her husband's white, and her daughter don't even look black. She looks totally white.
Oh wow.
There's a number of black celebrities that married white men, and you know, there's black men that have married white women too. I mean, just interesting.
Yeah, but that like seeking validation and, you know, wanting a black woman to be jealous of you, and I see that a lot even today. That happens a lot. A lot of white girls think that, but I don't know. Like I keep saying, we're not. It's not the 70s anymore. Black women have as many options as anybody else. And,
and you know it's funny because I've seen like white men that date and married black women and they don't say nothing, but I've seen white women make it an issue that they date black men, and black men are so much better, and they're this and that, and you know the stereotype, they're bigger than you are, of course. You know they'll say that, and it's kind of weird. And I know where I worked at when I was in Missouri, I worked at this warehouse, and there was this woman white woman that just dated black guys, and they were like, she talked like they were the second coming, like they were perfect, right? And these guys would get mad. They're like, why did she keep talking about that? I mean, why does she keep saying that? Who cares? Wow. And I would defend her. I'd say, you know what? She loves who she loves. And they're like, why do you defend her? What's wrong with you? I'm like, look, she's living in her world. What she says is the best, and I'm agreeing with her. Why are you going to try to destroy how she feels, right? And I think that's how we need to treat each other as people. If I look at my life, if I say black women are the best, the most beautiful, the most successful, why are you going to try to change my mind in that? You're not. but you know, I'm not just, that's not just in my head and my fantasy, that's in reality.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, that's how she felt, and I'm just like, guys, let her love who she loves. And who cares if she puts you down? Do you want to date her? Is that your problem? No, I don't want to date her. Okay, shut the hell up. Let her, you know, and sometimes that's the way people are, and it's kind of weird, you know, but maybe that's her way to express her love for the man she's with. And
yeah, I mean, and if she's talking about her black man, then I don't have any problem with that at all.
yeah,
Like, what I have a problem with, or what I just find so weird, is the white women that, you know, there's a lot of them, like on TikTok and on other social media, like they just they it's like it's an affirmation and it's an accolade, and it's like they strive to know that they made a black woman jealous. Like, if black women aren't jealous, then the relationship is not worth it. That's the idea that I get. Like, if we don't notice and if we don't care, then they don't want that relationship. They need us to care about it. They need us to be jealous of it. They need us to worry about it. They need us to like have an opinion on it, and they need us to like be angry and upset about it. And you know, I'm like, man, it's like so exhausting because like,
yeah,
I don't care. I really don't care. I do not care.
yeah, no doubt. But the thing that's weird about that is, you know, people say, and I thought this was propaganda till I seen it for myself,
Mm-hmm.
is people say, okay, white women want to be black women. They emulate everything black women do. And I was just like, okay, maybe some do, but I've seen it a lot. I've seen and especially white women that date black men. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
God. They pander and go
Yeah.
all in. And I've seen white women wear braids. I've seen white women wear cornrows. A lot of white women wear cornrows for some reason. What's with that?
You know why? Because they know white men like that. Why, I know white guys love braids, and they love
We
cornrows.
do.
They love braids.
And here's the thing. We love braids. When I was a little kid, I loved braids back in the day. And I remember that movie? Well, that's before your time. There was a movie called 10.
Who?
10.
Mm-mm.
And it was with Bo Derek, a white woman. And she had braids in her hair.
Oh.
I mean, she was a supermodel. She was a beautiful woman, beautiful white woman. But she had braids in her hair, and it looked really good. You know, and I'm not against that. Some white women look good with braids. They really do. And I'm not against that. If that's what you like in your style. I don't know how black women feel about that, but I mean, some white women
generally we really don't like it. We really don't like it. We like to see
you
white
don't
women.
like it.
No, we
Yeah.
really don't. And you know why? Because it's such a stigma. Like, I don't know if white people understand this, but it is such a thing to go to a job interview and to know how you're going to wear your hair, because your
Yeah.
hair is such a big deal. You're
Yes.
not just free to wear your hair as it is. I can't just go to a job interview with a big afro. I can't do that. So braids kind of makes my hair look more tame. Or like
Yes.
if I straighten it or relax it or wear it like, or with the weave or whatever, it makes it look more tame, and it's how I assimilate to being able to get the job that I'm already qualified for, but I don't want to be overlooked because they thought my hair was a little too militant or a little too unkempt or a little too whatever. So I don't like to see white women do like for fun what we have to do for much more like, you know, it's kind of annoying because
I get you.
Yeah, you
I
get it.
understand you fully. And I'm going to tell you why. Here's the thing. Yes, black women's hair, I mean, you know, you guys got to upkeep your hair and stuff. And with the afro, I never seen it as militant. I thought it was a beautiful thing. You know, the Foxy Brown look. And when I help my wife take her braids out and stuff, and she's got the fro going, she'll wear for a few days. I could just run my hands through her hair, and it's like, No, but honestly, I understand what you're saying.
It became militant because of like movements like
Yes,
the Black
yeah,
Panther movement.
yeah. But you know what? I don't see it like that. That's just natural hair.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I know what you're talking about hair. My daughter, my youngest daughter, in high school, she was on the dance team for 4 years, and we would go watch her perform. You know, during football games and stuff, and she was like the captain since she was a sophomore till she graduated. She was that good at it. Well, of course, I spent a lot of money putting her in dance classes, but that's beside the point. But that's what she loved to do, right? And we'd go watch her perform in football games and state tournaments, and I mean that was a big thing. And my daughter, she looks more. She don't even look black. She looks Hispanic. And being in New Mexico, she looks like all the other girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
But her hair is long, like my mom's hair. It's weird. Both my daughters got different textures of hair. They look almost alike, but my youngest daughter, her hair grows, it's really long. It's growing all the way past her butt. It's so long. But my oldest daughter, her hair don't grow that long. It's more of like my wife's hair. And but my youngest daughter, her hair was curly though. And they did a routine where everybody straightened their hair because there was, like 3 black girls in the dance team and my daughter. So they straightened their hair, right? And they thought, oh, it looks good. They all look alike. And, and when you go with the dance team, it's like precision. You want everybody to be in sync and all this crap. But they kept wanting to do that. And the black mothers were like throwing a fit. And my wife was going nuts. No, we're not straightening our daughter's hair again. And the reason is because it can do damage.
Yeah.
I mean, putting a hot comb to your hair, it's not healthy. And they fought that, and of course they're like, okay, we didn't understand that, so they went away from that. But yeah, I understand. Black women's hair is, and I'll tell other women, black women have to work harder on their hair than white women or Hispanic women or Asian, because their hair is kinky, it's curly, it's a different texture. And like my wife's hair, she puts stuff in her hair, she braids it, and that helps, but I mean it's just different. I mean, she can't put heat to it because it'll break off. And my wife did that, and she has some issues with that. So with my wife, she either goes natural or it's braids. I mean, that's
and for us, braids, we wear braids because braids are the easiest. They allow us to like have them you're not in your hands aren't in your hair all the time. They're very low maintenance. They're very easy. And I know people like the style, but it's not really a style. Like I even went back to look at a lot of the history of braids, and a lot of those braided styles I see in like other cultures and Africa and stuff like that. Braids have a lot of symbolism and a lot of meaning, and we don't do it for all those reasons, but it's like, I don't know, it's like it's not that like it's our thing, but it's definitely annoying when white women think that like it's like it's just a style, I can wear it and I'm going to wear it too. But especially when it's like they people act like they're praised for it. And I know, yeah, okay, and let me take these braids out my hair and try to go and be taken seriously somewhere with my hair, and it's for a reason. All right. I'm not even in corporate anymore, but I was. And like, it's just one of the things I think is that because people still associate natural hair with all this stuff, that stuff I wasn't even born for. I wasn't even born yet when all that stuff was going on. but it's still so attached. But like they see it as like a maybe like a lawsuit waiting to happen. Are they gonna do they think that like it's gonna be a racial discrimination thing? I'm like, no, not at all. But I mean, you just have to be really, really careful. You have to be really careful. But I definitely think a lot of white girls, they know white men like braids, and that's they're starting to wear them all the time now. Because I definitely noticed that.
We do. We do. We really do. I always have. And my son-in-law, he's a white guy married to my daughter, and she wears braids for him. It's so cute. I'm just like, because, my wife does it for me. I'm like, yeah. And, when he married my daughter, I was like, get ready for the black woman's hairstyle, because you're going to pay some money. No, but I mean, my daughter and her husband, they're almost making the money we are now, because they're just so successful. He's in the Air Force, moving up the rank. She's got her master's degree. Well, she's not working now because she's got she's pregnant. So we got another granddaughter on the way. So we're excited, and
that's very exciting.
And with our other granddaughter, she's 5. So me and my wife will fly out to Missouri, because that's where they live, and bring her home for a little bit, spend time with her, bring her back. But I mean, with me and my wife, we just, when we're married, we just cherish the time with our kids so much that, we get grandkids like, hey, we're excited and it's fun. And so.
Do you love giving them back, the grandkids?
When we're tired, yes. No, all fairness, we miss them. I mean, we wish they could be here for longer. In fact, and I'm going to tell you, when you get married and have a family and your kids grow up, you miss them. Me and my wife, we miss our kids because we used to go on trips together. We always did stuff together. And, we watched our kids, from when my wife gave birth to when they grew up to adults. And, I'm going to do a video later on with me and my wife, and we're going to do a little history on our family. And I'll show some pictures of me and my wife when we're young, back in the day. And I'll show some pictures of our little kids. I'm not going to show them as adults because I'm protecting their image and stuff. But, I'll show when they were kids and stuff. And I think that would be a good show, just to show that, interracial couples can work. You can have families, and they can grow up and be successful. But yeah, I mean, but we do miss that. Me and my wife, we miss our kids because they're adults now, but we remember when they were kids. When they were excited.
Your nest is a little empty now.
It is, because my daughters were always active in their cheerleading or, doing their dance thing. And then my son was into his little league baseball, football. And we were always into that stuff. We always, we always went to their games and they were excited and it was fun. And then, we would take trips and go different places. And now it's just me and my wife. And me and my wife love being together because we can, we can hop on a plane and go somewhere. I mean, we fly to Dallas almost every other weekend just to hang out.
Wow.
It's almost like we're residents down there. We got friends down there. We hang out. We have fun. And we're big Dallas Cowboy fans. And and half my fans love me and hate me because of that, but that's cool. No, but anyway, that's what we do together. We fly out to Phoenix all the time because my family lives out there. So we spend a lot of time out there. My oldest daughter went to college at Arizona State, so we got a connection there. But yeah, I mean, me and my wife are doing us, but we do miss the kids,
Well, I'm sure they're going to see this, and then they're going to come visit you more often, probably.
Yeah, and they're going to get teary-eyed and cry, and they better, or I'll be mad at them. No, but seriously, we sometimes get emotional on that because it was such a blessing, you know.
Mhm.
And me and my wife, I made videos of this. You know, we'll go to the park and we'll just kind of hang out,
Mhm.
and we'll see like an interracial couple with a black woman, white man. They got kids, and like, oh my god, my wife gets emotional on that. Like, oh, I miss my kids, because you know we kind of relate to these people. We don't even know these people. You know, we'll wave and say hi, and they'll be like excited because there's older people like us. You know, it's pretty cool.
That is so cute.
Yeah, but we relate to that, and we think about what our family time and stuff, and you know, um, what I think is a blessing, and what I've seen that's a positive is interracial couples with black women and white men. We see a positive, even on YouTube. These couples, they look happy, they look
Mhm.
like they're into each other, like. And maybe not, that's not the whole truth. Maybe it's just polished because of their video, but it looks genuine. It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, I
I
follow
haven't,
a few.
I haven't seen a video with Tyrone and Becky yet. I'm waiting for it. I would
Oh.
support it. I would give money to it because I want that to succeed too. No, I'm just no, but I would. I do want that
I'm
to
rooting for you,
succeed.
Tyrone and Becky. I'm rooting for you. I
I
want you to
am because
succeed.
it's honestly yeah, but yeah, I'm rooting for that too. And I tell people, I'm looking for this black guy to come on my show that's married to a white woman that has a preference for white women,
Mhm.
that loves white women, that will thanks God for white women, that thinks white women is everything. And people say, why do you want that? Because that's how I feel about black women. I mean,
Mhm.
straight up. I would like to have, maybe an opposite opinion,
Mhm.
see where their mindset is. I don't think I'll ever get that. I had one guy I thought I could get on. He's like, no, I'll be
Mhm.
attacked too much. But,
Yeah. You know, a lot of times when you listen to black men say why they like white women, they
uh-huh.
can't describe it without saying something. They can't describe it without saying because black women. When they say I like white women because black women always do this and white women do that. And black women always do this and white women do that. And that is like and usually it's always like something from their childhood or something that
Uh-huh.
happened to them like a long time ago, or like this one time this black woman did something and then they never dated a black woman again. So it's usually like you know how you knew you were going to be with a black woman even when you were a kid because you just had a genuine
Yes.
love for them. It's rarely have I ever seen a black man just have a genuine love for another race of woman that wasn't rooted in something that a black woman did. You understand?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I do, Loren. And let me tell you, when I say that, when I was a boy and I had this babysitter and I seen black women, I've really seen the sweetness of a black woman. I seen black women that had a big heart, and I cling to black women. And I watched this video of this white woman that loved black men and felt that she should have been black or whatever. And I listened to her, and she said, "You know what? White men are too clingy. That's what I don't like." I'm like, you know what? I am clingy. I was
mhm,
always clingy to black women when I was a boy because I had love for them, and it wasn't like it was a pure love. It was a love that I want to hug you. I want to be close to you. I want to, and it was like I could see the true beauty without the when you're a child, it's pure. Yes, dear. But um, there was like a pure beauty to it. It was like I was clingy to it. I wanted to be next to this woman, when she was like a teenage babysitter. I was like, I felt comfortable with her. I was like, she was giving me candy and calling me big guy, and I thought that was the biggest thing in the world, And I cling to that. And I've always clinged to black women because I've seen that side of them. And when I dated black women, I was always clingy. I always hug. I always when I go to bed at night with me and my wife, I hug my wife. I'm either have my arms around her, I'm touching her, I'm up under her, and that's just I don't know. It's just it's who I am, It's but I think because I've seen the blessing earlier when I was a child that I see the blessing to this day. And there's more to it than the physical part. There's more to it than the desire. It's more like a godly spiritual thing. And I can honestly say that. And you know what? My marriage has lasted because of that. I believe I have a love for black women because I've seen the inner beauty. I mean, of course, they're beautiful on the outside, and I would say they're the most beautiful woman on earth, looking at them. But inside, oh my God, I'm truly in love. And I always have been. And it's a pure love.
But I know you're genuine because, for one, you've been faithfully married for a very long time. I always say that. You have the proof. You live the life that you tell others to live, You're not like these dating coaches that don't even have the lives that they tell other men or women to live.
Yeah.
You are successfully married for a very long time. And for two, I've never heard you say anything negative about white women. Because your love for your wife and your love for black women is based purely in how you feel about them. It's not because of what a white woman did to you a long time ago. It's not because you feel white women are this or that or whatever. I've never heard you say anything negative about white women, and I don't need you to do that. Like, you're when people do things like that, it's that's not genuine. That's not real. You don't have to do that.
And why would I hate on them because I love what I love? And here's the thing: people have asked me, "Have you ever been attracted to white women? Do you think white women are beautiful?" And I always reply, there are two white women I always thought were beautiful. There was the woman that played Wonder Woman back in the 70s. God, what was her name? Shoot, what was her name, chat? God, I can't even think of it. She's from Arizona too. She played Wonder Woman in the 70s. Linda Carter. Thank you, babe. No, Linda Carter. Linda Carter was a very beautiful woman, right? And she was a woman from Arizona, kind of around my neck of the woods, you might say. Beautiful white woman. I thought she was very beautiful. And there was another white woman I thought was like one of my top picks was Blair from Facts of Life. You remember that show?
What's it called?
Facts of Life. It was back in the 80s. The girl Blair, she was a white girl. And people always says, "Oh yeah, Tootie was your favorite because she's a black woman." But no, she wasn't. Actually, Blair was. But here's the thing: I thought those women were beautiful because I see beauty in all women. But here's the kicker: even though I think those women are beautiful and I would be crazy to be with them, if Donna Summer walked in the room, I would have kicked both them women to the curb to be with Donna Summer because that's my preference. Just saying. But
you always talk about Donna Summer.
I love Donna Summer, even though she passed away. But oh my God, that I was infatuated with her as a little kid back in the day. You know,
I wanna
check
see
her out. Check out some of her music and stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually going to after this stream just because you talk about her so much. I know I probably heard her music though. But yeah, I wanna see what she looks like too.
Yeah, look at her. She was married to a white man. I think she was married to two white men, if I'm not mistaken. But she loved white men, and I never knew that. I mean, I had
Mm.
an infatuation for years. I never knew that. Just look at some of her music, hot stuff. Gosh, you know, just some of her old videos and stuff. She was big in the 1970s.
Mhm.
She passed away a few years ago. I think it was from emphysema, not from smoking, but because of I guess she was around the World Trade Center back when it collapsed.
Oh,
Yeah.
emphysema. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. In fact, I almost have something like that because I've never smoked in my life. I always thought it was
Mm.
disgusting. But I got scarred tissue in my lungs because of the time I spent in Iraq. I have
Mm.
asthma because of it. That could lead to lung disease. Hope,
Yeah.
God willing, it don't. But I
Mhm.
have some issues with that just because I breathed in that fine dust.
Mm.
And some of the people around the World Trade Center are having major health problems
Yeah.
because they breathed in that stuff. Some of them have passed since then. Yeah, the World Trade Center was crazy. I remember, gosh, my kids were little kids then. They were babies. I was at Fort Carson, Colorado when that happened, and they
Mhm.
locked us down. And yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, remember I was in school when it happened and they let us go early, but I was in Philly. So like we didn't really get what was what actually happened, what was going on. So I didn't get the seriousness of it until I got home. And
Yeah,
and the news kept saying terrorist attack, and then I started seeing, because they keep playing the visuals over and over and over and over
yeah.
again, and people jumping out the window and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, what? So, but yeah, I was in school when that happened, and yeah, I still remember it like it was yesterday.
You know what's crazy about that? I'm gonna tell you, Loren. Um, uh, when that happened, where I live, the town I live in is Rio Rancho, New Mexico. It's right next to Albuquerque, New Mexico, the biggest city.
Mm-hmm.
And in my town, we have 100,000 people. Right?
Mm.
It's the second biggest city in New Mexico. Where I live, I'm like out in the desert in nowhere. But um, our city was created. It was started in 1960, and it was created. The history of my city, where I live, my town, right? It was created from real estate investors. A lot of people from New York
Mm.
that came out here and invested in a little area and built a little community. And it was just a neighborhood back in 1960, and it exploded into right now. There's over 100,000 people, just over 100,000. We've became the second biggest city in New Mexico. Albuquerque is the biggest city. It's got 500,000.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, it's probably the most safest place when it comes to crime.
Mm.
Um, it's the best neighborhoods in the state is right
Mm.
here. And the amazing thing about where I live is it's not like super expensive. The average guy can live here really good, really
Mm-hmm.
can. Um, but it was started from people from New York, investors and stuff. And back in the day, in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, I remember a lot of people from New York lived in this community. And us in New Mexico, we always had like a kind of animosity towards people from like New York or California or Texas, you might say. We didn't
Yeah.
hate them, but we kind of thought, these people are weird because they were like different, right?
Mm-hmm.
gosh, I'm losing my train of thought, but gosh, I'm sorry.
We were talking about the World Trade Center.
Oh, okay, yeah. But we always thought weird things about people from New York. In fact, we had like we weren't prejudiced against people from New York, but we thought they were like kind of arrogant, kind of like thought they were better than us. And we thought that about people from Texas too.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing of it is we kind of had that animosity, and every state has that. But when the World Trade Center hit and all that stuff happened, it was like we were like pro New York. We thought, people from New York were the ultimate people because we seen the police officers in New York and the firefighters that ran up the World Trade Center. Like, gosh, and those people, it was like it kind of shifted. We didn't hate them, but it was like we had more respect for them because
you got a different view of them because of that, of what happened. I mean,
and
that makes sense.
And it was like there was a ultimate respect because when the towers fell, a lot of those police officers, a lot of those firemen died. And the ones that survived, they died later on because they inhaled all that toxic.
Yeah, that's the thing that was horrible, because a lot of the ones that died later just died slowly because of how much of stuff they inhaled.
Yeah. And since that happened, there was such a renewed respect. It was like, you know what, these people are awesome. And well, I mean, that was a time in our nation where we came together as a nation. It was a beautiful thing. I remember being in the Army, and it was like, it was weird. It was like we all came together, and it was like, it was neat. Not saying us as Americans don't come together. We do, but I mean, that was one point where we actually embraced each other.
Definitely. It was very uniting for a little while. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, and then it fizzled away back to normal, right? Yeah,
Brent,
but
I better get ready to go, Brent. It's 12. It's going on 12:30 here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Loren. I'm rambling on and stuff, but it was good having you on.
It's been great talking to you. Yeah, I've totally really enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, it was totally awesome. What I would like to reiterate before we go is, guys, if you're into interracial relationships, dating, marriage, make sure you're all in.
Yes.
Make sure you could put your husband, wife above everything else, because if you cannot, it won't work. Like I said, don't focus on sins of the past. I mean, talk about them because we want to know what's in the past so we don't repeat the mistakes, but don't expect your partner, your wife, your husband know exactly what you went through. Through time, you can explain it to them, and I'm pretty sure if they love you, they will empathize with you. They will be compassionate, and they'll do the right thing. Me and my wife got through that. And interracial relationships can be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, take the pressure off and do fun things together. Don't always feel the need to have intense conversations.
And don't fight each other's culture. Embrace each other's culture. It's like my brother told me, he says, you know what? He says, you and Sandy are awesome. You've taken two cultures and created your own. And we really have.
Great way to put it.
We really have. We don't favor one over the other. We just merge them all to what we want. And that's what a marriage is. Merge what you want. You and your husband, you and your wife. It's about you. It's not about society. It's not about your mom and dad. It's not about your cousins, your best friend, on the side. It's not about what people think about you. It's about you too. It's about the husband, the wife, are the two that's in the relationship. That's what it's about. And when I say, when you get in a relationship, be selfish. And I'm going to say this: F society, F stereotypes, F generalizations, F family that don't accept it, F friends that don't accept it. They're not friends if they don't accept it. When I say give them the finger and move on with your life, you'll be
F
more happy.
Everything that you heard, F everything you heard, whatever you heard about a Black woman is probably not true.
That's
Whatever
right.
you heard about a white guy is probably not true. Give each other a chance.
That's
Give
right.
each other a chance to show you who they are, and they may end up being really bad. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be perfect every time, but give each other a chance, and don't go into it already with the idea of with these expectations. You know, with these expectations that you heard or that you saw somewhere, how you saw it on TV and stuff like that. Give each other a fair chance. Give each other room to make mistakes. Give each other room to give each other room to forgive each other too.
That's right. That's true. Well said, Loren. Um, you know, like I said, you got to accept each other and put each other above everything. But you know, that's about it in a nutshell. Thank you guys for coming on. Loren, thank you for coming on. It's always a pleasure. You're always welcome on my channel. You know, you're first class. You're a VIP here. And
Hey,
whenever you want to come in, you know, you're welcome. All
thank
you
you,
got to do
friend.
is let me know. You just say, hey, I'm coming in. I say, okay, I'll roll out the red carpet. You're there. But seriously, I appreciate you coming on. You know, I appreciate everything you've done for this channel. And because of you, you helped my channel grow. And I'm greatly appreciative of this. I'm really grateful. And you've been a blessing, and I have big love for you. Both me and Sandy love you so much because we know your heart, and it's been a blessing.
Yeah, and
And
I love you guys too. I always say you guys are goals. Y'all are what it's supposed to look like. That's why I love helping your channel grow. I love coming on whenever I'm able because I want to see your channel get bigger. Because I think that you're going to be one of those things that like break norms and break barriers and help people get out of their comfort zone. They probably always wanted to, but we're always scared to. When they see you do it, they see you and Sandy do it, and they know that it's possible, and they can kind of imitate you.
yeah, well, I hope so. If not, if nothing else, I want to reach a few people and you know, let them know that you know there's light at the end of the tunnel, and regardless if the man or woman looks like you or different, um, there's a blessing at the end, and I just want to give that message. But yeah, Loren, thank you very much. It's always a blessing having you. I'm glad to see you. I know you were busy for a while, and I missed you a lot. Everybody on this channel has missed you. I know I got some subscribers. Where's Loren? Where did Loren go? I was like, well, she's busy. She's living her life, but it's good to see you. It's really a blessing. Thank you for coming on. And anytime you want to come on, if you have something you want to present, you know, you're always welcome. And
Okay,
I'll always
will
open the
do.
door for you. So thank you. You have a blessed day. And God bless you. And I'm glad you came on. You made my day. Like I said, you made this channel what it is. You're a big part of it.
Oh,
You
I feel
really
so
are.
special.
You are. No, seriously, you are. You know, and I appreciate you. And like I said, me and Sandy have big love for you. Sandy always talks, where's Loren? Where's Loren? You know, I say, well, she's doing her thing. But, you know,
Yeah, I'm
we
really
do
busy
appreciate.
with my own little business, and I'm trying to make a lot of things happen for myself and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But you know, I'm
Yeah, and I
always
know
here, always listening.
I appreciate that. And you're going to be successful. And I always pray for you. Both me and my wife do. And, you know, you're going to be just fine. I know you got a good heart and you know, you're a go-getter. You know, you got that awesome can-do attitude, and that's what makes people successful. And you know, but anyway, I thank you very much, and you enjoy the rest of your night. Sorry I kept you up so late.
Oh, no problem. That's how I enjoyed it. I always do. Thanks for everyone that's still watching. And you and Sandy have a good night, and hope I'm excited to hear about your daughter's birth and all that. I want to see, like, you know, if you feel comfortable to put pictures and all that. But I'm excited. I'm excited for your growing. Your family is still growing, Brent. So
it is, and you know what? I'm just looking back and I'm seeing. Oh man, I'm in seventh heaven. I talked to my granddaughter, and we're looking at a place to build her dollhouse or her playhouse in my backyard. And she's like, "Yeah." She calls me Popo. I'm her Popo. Popo, we need to build it here. I'm like, okay, because you know I got a baby sister coming because we got to have it here. I'm like, okay.
so cute.
But it's all awesome. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and close it up. Thank you, Loren. God bless you. Thank you for coming.
Good night, everybody.
And yeah, good night, everybody. Thank you for watching tonight. I know this has been an emotional day, especially for me. You know, I don't like to fight with any of my subscribers, but you know, I just oh well, it is what it is. I love you guys. Hopefully they come back and I can make it right for them, you know. But if not, you know, I hope they're happy where they go. But anyway, thank you, Loren. God bless you. You have a blessed day. And, you know, don't be a stranger. Send me an email. We'll talk back and forth. And anything you want, if you want to do a show on anything, you're welcome here. This channel is your channel too. I just want you to know that. Okay.
Thank you, Brent.
You're a road runner too. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. And God bless you guys. I'll see you later. I'm going to go ahead and close out. God bless you and your families, and I'll see you later. All right. All right, guys. Thank you. God bless you and your families. It's Tuesday night. It's been a crazy Tuesday night. I'll see you Saturday night for a Saturday Night Live. And, I don't know if I could come in sooner than that, but Saturday night, late night live Saturday, look out for that. I'll see you there. Thank you guys. God bless you and your families, and I'll talk to you later. God bless.